Welcome to Siege Storytime. I am Duck, today's host, and today's topic is anything scary. I'm joined by Kensley, Kyler,
Hello.
and Alex.
Hello.
So the way this works is that I will give points to each one of you. Whoever wins will host next episode and bring their topic of choice. So, Kensley, starting with you, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. What about you, Kyler?
Man, I feel like death, but we're surviving.
Sick boy, sick boy. Alright, Alex.
Feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good right now.
Good, good. You guys have any stories in mind?
Oof.
Yes.
I got one in mind, for sure.
You got one? Alrighty.
Wait, look at
I'll
that.
take
I'm waiting
Alrighty.
for you, bro.
You know what?
So,
I'm sorry, but to be fair, Deimos is pretty scary to look into the mask of.
spooky.
Oh, Jimmy,
That's
you looking
spooky.
pretty fine under that mask.
Maybe, but I'm just saying. I think the mask it is a little scary.
I'd boop
I
that
look
nose
nice.
any day. Just boop.
The what
I
nose?
just want to walk up to it and just go.
What nose? It's
Boop
not
man.
there.
It's pretty scary.
Alright. So, alright, well, I'm gonna segue us into the stories. So, Kensley, do you want to start?
Yes, not that it's really a scary story, but this morning, well, let's just say it was not a good night. Slept horribly. Got up, kind of was waking up, and I look over and Ashton looks wide awake. Might I add, looks wide awake. But when he has a nightmare, and he has them every once in a while, he like shakes and holds his fists into he makes them into fists and then shakes, and it's really freaky. But his eyes were wide open, and he was like whimpering, and it was really freaking me out. And I kind of was trying to talk to him. I was like, "Are you okay?" And no response.
Your
so I was
boy's
a little
getting
confused.
possessed.
I know. I finally he woke up and he like closed his eyes and reopened them to wake up. I was like, "Oh my gosh,
no,
you
that's not
you just
your
had your
boyfriend.
eyes open. You just had them like open." And he was like, "What do you mean I had my eyes open?" So that's probably the scariest thing in a while, because that freaked me out.
So, to give some clarification, I do have nightmares and night terrors quite often, like on a pretty regular basis. And in this nightmare, I lost my phone at the edge of my bed, okay? And I had like a counter kind of that like lined my bed, and there was this toy on the edge. And Kensley said something along the lines of, "I just don't like how that toy's eyes move." And I told her,
Ugh,
"What do you
creepy.
mean? The eyes aren't supposed to move." And when I said that, the toy literally bent its head and kind of like looked behind it. And in the dream, my
Nope.
eyes went wide open,
Nope.
like she was describing. And I started trying to mumble "babe" in my dream to get her attention. And I think I just started kind of doing that in real life.
Oh, I've done
And
that
when
before. Ugh.
when she told me that my eyes were open, that's not normal. Like, that's not a regular thing.
I was
The
gonna say.
nightmares, night terrors, stuff like that, that's pretty regular. But I have never, and again, like, I'm asleep, I don't know, and if she wouldn't have said that, I would have known. But I don't recall like anything like that happening. The mumbling part, sure, I've done that before, I know that. But I don't know. It was weird. It was really weird.
It did really freak me out. I didn't like that because I genuinely was about ready to shake you, and I just noticed your eyes were even shifting. They were going back and forth like crazy, and I was like, "Whoa, okay, this is weird." So yeah,
Oh, wait,
it seemed he seemed possessed. It was really odd. It really
Yeah.
freaked me out.
Yeah, currently
was
that was
kind of
Bartholomew
a-
the Third from 17th century.
Yeah, it was kind of a creepy morning, I ain't gonna lie. Like,
It
I was
was.
on edge literally all morning because of that, I'm not gonna lie. But the
Ugh.
whole nightmare, night terrors, like, that stuff doesn't get to me, really.
Well,
Because I do have them very, like,
he
regularly.
has very intense and very like he can recite them word by word and go into great detail of his nightmares, and it actually freaks me out. Like just him talking about his nightmares, that weirds me out because they're so descriptive and so
Yeah.
vivid even for him. Like
I have to
I
do with that
don't
with my
dream like
girlfriend
that.
too. It sucks.
I
do
don't
remember
dream
stuff
like
like
that,
that.
so it's like ugh.
Yeah, I remember my nightmares and stuff so vividly. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it could be anything as minimal as, like, dust being picked up from a truck. Like, I can remember that so vividly. And I actually had one, like, recently that, like, the universe that my nightmares take place in is just so, like, there is so much going on.
Me
I
too,
swear.
bro. High five.
Heck yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Anyways, nice story. Very,
That's so
very
tight.
unnerving. But anyways, let's move on. Kyler, you got anything for the topic?
Yeah. I just actually kind of want to go off of like the whole lore with like just Damos's name, because like it's actually
Okay.
kind of
Cool.
interesting, like with this whole like Kiri's Legion, how
Right.
the Kiri Legion is based off of, you know, how like these like angels of like violent death. I think that was interesting.
Okay.
But the main thing that like actually kind of caught my attention when I was looking over some urban myths, it's called the Dover Demon. So the Dover Demon is a creature reportedly sighted. It's like the first sighting was like Dover, Massachusetts. Um, while explanations have been proposed, the sightings remain unresolved. And like a one sighting that has been reported was a 17-year-old named William Bartlett claimed that while driving, he saw an alien-like creature with tendril-like fingers and glowing eyes on top of a broken stone wall. Another 15-year-old, John Baxter, reported seeing a similar creature on Miller Hill Road the same evening. Another 15-year-old, Abby Brabham, claimed to have seen this creature the following night. The teenagers all drew sketches of the alleged creature. Bartlett wrote in a sketch, "I, Bill Bartlett, swear on a stack of Bibles that I saw this creature." And mind you, this creature kind of looks like really weird. Like, imagine like your, you know, everyday like aliens people always like draw.
What
And
was the creature's name?
the Dover Demon.
The
Dover
Dover Demon. Images. Let's take a look.
Not to interrupt.
Oh.
I literally did not touch my controller this whole time, and my character just moved all the way back here.
So, for anybody watching, it's basically, and feel free to definitely look this up. This is really interesting. It's almost like an alien-like, almost like, it's got a really alien-like face, and from what I've seen, it's like very skin-like, like muscly.
Ew. Yeah.
But it's like very slender, but the face is like 50% of
It
its body.
almost reminds me
For sure.
of like a what's the creepy pasta type stuff? The SCPs?
Yeah,
reminds
there's
me-
SCPs,
There,
but
it reminds me of one of them. It reminds me of the
it reminds me of
the
the
Wraith.
rake.
rake. Yeah, not the wraith. Rake.
Yeah, it's
the rake
very
is a
similar to
creepy
the
one.
rake.
Yeah, that's
But it's
kinda
got
what it
like the
looks like.
face of just your generic like alien almost. That's interesting. That's really interesting. Do you have more to go on for that?
Well, possible explanations that they're going off of is that it suggested that the creature may have been a foal or a moose calf.
Oh.
A skeptic Joel Nickel believes the creature was likely a snowy owl based on size and plumage, which was reflected in the yellow headlights of older cars as the peach color described by Bartlett. In addition, the long, spindly arms and fingers of the supposed creature could be the partially open wings and the splayed feathers of the wingtips of a snowy owl.
Okay. That's very interesting. That's not the direction I was thinking you were gonna take
No,
that.
I
That's
didn't
very
think so
interesting though. That I
But-
think you get 2 points for that. I really like that. I like the description.
thank
so
you.
That's cool.
It kind of makes sense because the snow. If you look at that picture of it, where it has more of the alien-like face, a owl's face kind of juts down like that towards
Right.
the end, like with its beak and stuff.
That's very interesting. That's very interesting. Anything else?
Well, and at least in pop culture, the Dover Demon was featured in an episode of the American horror television series Lost Tapes, which aired on Animal Planet. That's interesting.
On Animal
I was
Planet.
gonna say on Animal
Dang.
Planet. That's funny.
The Dover Demon appears as a character in the American comic book series Proof, which features various other creatures. In the comic, it is a creature able to see into the future. It appears in another similar comic book series called the Perhapanauts, and has also made brief appearances in comic books like The Pound, Ghoul's Night Out, and Hack/Entry. Kind of just
Huh.
interesting things to send it off there. And note, I'm just reading this off of Wikipedia, but I'm sure there's other, websites out there like blogs I could read it off of. That was just the one thing that kind of caught my eye.
That's interesting. Yeah, viewers, definitely look up what it looks like. It's very simple, but it's also like, I don't know, it's kind of eerie with like how slender. I could definitely understand where it could maybe be an owl by the face, and I guess the hands when I looked it up looked like very pointy almost, so maybe it's like their talons. I can understand
Or
where the
wings.
reference could come from, but that's interesting. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so far
Alex.
since like the first sighting was in 1977, which isn't too long ago,
Oh,
but
that's not.
still, it's like,
Oh,
Yeah, that's actually pretty recent in terms of like urban legend type things.
yeah. But yeah,
That's
that's all I got.
interesting. Okay. All right. Yeah, Alex, what are you bringing?
So I'm not bringing no aliens or nothing, But I am gonna bring, I would say like a ghost, a ghost.
Okay.
So, I have a friend. His name is Evan. He's 1 year older than me. We grew up together in the town I live in, and he would invite me over to his house all the time during the summer because we were in middle school, no responsibilities. You can do whatever you want. So I would go over all the time. And this one specific day, he asked me to come over, and I did. And no one was home. It was just me and him. We're just playing the. At the time, it was Black Ops 3. And we hear like a bang. And I forgot to mention he lives like in an apartment complex, but he's on the top floor. So no one's like around him, I guess. No one's like basically he doesn't have a neighbor. But we hear like a banging coming from like his sister's room, his little sister's room. And we were like, I asked him, I was like, is anyone here? Like, he told me no one was here. He's like, no one should be here. It should be me and you. So we went to go investigate the closet because that's where we heard the banging. It looked like nothing even happened. It looked clean, nothing spilt or nothing. So we shrugged it off and went back to the living room. Next thing we know, a door slammed. And how his apartment is
Ooh,
like
goody.
built, when you walk in through the front door, the kitchen's on the right, and you go more back, the bathroom's in the back. We heard the bathroom slam the door, like really loud. Like think about an angry person who just slammed the door. Like you noticed it, you heard it.
It's like, oh,
Like there's no
mother.
doubt.
Ugh.
that
Yeah,
ghost
we
was
all know that
angry.
noise.
And
Me angry. Me no
we,
like.
we went back there, and no one's back there. So we're confused. We're like, what the heck's going on here, dude? Like, no one's here. We hear noises. Like, what's going on? And we just sat there like thinking to ourselves like, did we really just hear that, or are we like tripping over here? So we wait till his parents to get home. We tell him what happened, and his stepdad was telling us how that specific apartment, someone died in that
Oh.
specific room where the kid lives or sleeps.
Oh.
And
Ugh.
apparently that's a normal thing that happens, and they didn't tell me or Evan because we were just I guess we never paid attention. And since then I have never went over to that house again because
You're like, no,
I
dude,
wouldn't
that your house
either.
is
scared
terrifying.
me so bad knowing that a door slam, things are like banging, and yeah, as a kid that is pretty traumatizing to know that ghost did it.
How old were you when this happened?
I was like maybe like 11, maybe 12.
Huh.
As I knew Evan
Yeah,
for a long
pretty
time.
young though.
Yeah, I knew him for a long time, and well, he doesn't live there no more, thank God. But recently, like I think like 3 years ago, that same apartment burned down. Me and
Oh,
Evan
really?
witnessed it.
Oh shit.
Because we come into town and you look to the left, you can see the apartment complex. And we look to our left, it's burning down.
Really? You
Uh-uh.
seen it burning down?
Nope.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, like, we
That's
saw it
That's
burning
actually
down.
really creepy.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
just
stop
pretty much
moving
it.
character.
That's it?
That's
Alrighty.
pretty much it.
So, I was keeping track of points, and to tally them off, starting with Kensley. You got 1 point because it's a basic story and it's a dream and it's very close to
also
home.
combination to use, so I guess it's a little
Right.
cheating.
Yeah, very close to home. I'm sorry, but you do not.
Oh, I knew you were gonna do
Oof.
that.
Oh!
AJ's
Alrighty.
remembrance.
Coming in next with Kyler. You got 2 points because I really like the description and just the kind of urban legend-esque feeling. That stuff really intrigues me, and I've never heard of that, so I thought that was pretty interesting. So you got 2 points for that.
Grazie.
Coming in next would be Alex. You got 1 point. The first point was because you mentioned a kid dying, and I don't know why. That just felt like it deserved a point. Not that like I like when kids die, but that just felt
What you trying
very
to say?
point worthy. I don't know. I think the
That's
description
not
is
him.
there. Oh! So, right off the bat, right off the bat, -1 point to you for killing host. -1 point. Okay. But I wasn't finished. You got another 2 points basically just for the story. Because it's supernatural. I like that stuff. That stuff really intrigues me. So you both got those 2 points just for the story. The stories were both very similar. Just kind of spooky stuff happening in a spooky place. And then you actually got another point, which you now don't have, but it was because you witnessed the place burning down. That's pretty interesting. So total you would have been at 4 points -1, so at 3, which is just 1 point over Kyler. So you win. You get to host the next episode. Keep in mind a topic for next time. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed. Alex gets to host next episode.
Go ahead.
Peace
Shoot that
out.
alien head.
Laters.
Op 4 eliminated. Mission successful.